Hey, welcome everybody. John Gums, Dakota Grappler here. Dakota Grappler live, episode number 139 already. We've been going for a while. I got a special guest tonight, Ryan Blees, NCAA couple-time qualifier, two-time junior national champion, Division I expert, I'll call him tonight. He's going to walk through some brackets with us and give us some keys on what he's looking at, and just give us a perspective of pretty much wrestling at the next level, because there's a lot of wrestlers out there wanting to do that and want to know more and more. You're probably the closest by a mile in age, half our age at least, or third of our age, right, Bill? And and basically give us some perspective on maybe some advice even for Kyle Berwick going into his first nationals, and that's kind of some stuff we'll talk about tonight. And then over on the far side, we got Bill Holton. I've called him Bob, I've called him Horton, I've called him about everything, and he can call me pretty much anything he wants to. He probably owes me. It owes me back. But just excited. We got a lot of stuff happening in wrestling right now. We have the Division I kind of Christmas for some of us D1 wrestling lovers out there. And it starts up tomorrow. Bill, I'm gonna go to you right away. What's your weekend look like, and who you looking right away to when it comes to the Division I nationals? Then we'll get to Ryan.
Yeah, no, it's exciting. It's just been a great time of year, right? We had a great weekend last weekend down in Jamestown with the NAIA Women's National Championship, and we're rolling right into D1s this weekend, and followed D2s pretty closely last weekend. So, but now all eyes are focused on St. Louis, and there's some great first round matches that I kind of got my eye on, and I'm really excited to see how this all shakes out. So be fun to talk to Ryan and his experiences at the national, and of course we watched all the matches, but what it felt like coming from the inside.
Definitely. So Ryan, first question I'm going to ask you is, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you're doing right now, and then what I want you to do. Actually, I'll go one question at a time. Somebody told me not to ask so many questions. Just introduce yourself. Tell us what you're doing right now.
Sure. Ryan Blees, Bismarck native. Working for a company called Farmer's Edge here in Bismarck as a precision agronomist currently. So filling my time up with that and helping coach Map Pack Wrestling Kids Club and running some cattle with the family. That's about it.
Well, I tell you what, it's Bill's side right there. Look what he's got on his head. Leader's edge. Yeah, definitely. So tell us the first time you remember coming into the wrestling room as a kid.
Yeah, I think I remember first time staying on the side because I was too scared to get in there for a little while. And there's another kid who became one of my best friends for a very long time that was too scared to get in there. So we drilled on the side with our dads for a while, and finally got the courage to get in there. And from there it was history, just having fun with Milo Trusty, and then soon after Jeff Schumacher, and great times back in those days.
Who was that?
Jordan Binstock.
Oh, okay. Yes, sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So so then you remember growing up, when did you realize, probably at what age, that you wanted to take it to another level?
I maybe 6th, 7th grade. I'd say probably by 7th grade, I really liked it, really liked it. And maybe that 7th, 8th grade time frame, maybe that's when you more so kind of realize maybe this is what I could do in the future. Maybe start dropping some other sports, not that I didn't like them or anything like that, but just thought there was more future with myself in wrestling. So that's, I think, when I became more serious, is probably that 7th grade time frame.
Okay. So give us a few people that you started to travel with, because you had quite the group there for a little bit. You started to go places and do some wrestling outside of North Dakota. I like the names.
Sure. The guys my age that were going around, or what?
Yep.
Sure. So, gosh, started traveling, I think probably schoolboy time frame, and went to some regional tournaments with Jeff and guys that were training for regionals back then were Joe Schumacher, Brock Crum, I think Jordan Binstock was one. There's, I think the Brendel boys might have been in there. And then through the years started kind of branching out further, going to some preseason folk style tournaments and some other tournaments where non-Map Pack guys started showing up, Blake Bosch, Jared Reese, and soon after some others. And gosh, there was all sorts of Map Pack guys going around as well. So it's kind of fun to think back at who was making trips with us and whatnot. But
I remember some of the guys, Blake Bosch, Reese, those Class B guys wanting to step up the next level too.
Absolutely.
Very successful wrestlers.
Very.
So how about wrestling? More than 9 months out of the year. So, it's tough. Wrestling's a grueling sport. What did you do off to the side to kind of take yourself away from wrestling, but still stay in shape? Did you lift a lot of weights? Did you guys, what did you do?
Sure, yeah, definitely lifted. I probably didn't really get into lifting until about sophomore year, maybe freshman, sophomore, but more seriously in sophomore, junior year. But I don't know, I always kind of liked running. Once you start doing it to cut weight, it gets less fun. But I don't know, something about getting rid of some stress or some going out to think on a run was always nice. So in the off season, I didn't mind running. That's usually when the weather was pretty nice. But other than that, I like to ride dirt bikes a little bit while I was out checking cattle in high school. So I'd go cut loose on a dirt bike or just go hang out with friends down at the river or something, get on some wave runners and cruise around, tube and whatnot. So, yeah, that's kind of how I spent my time outside the wrestling room, which didn't seem often. But
okay. How much do you pay attention to the D1 stuff right now?
not as much as I did last year. I guess last year I was kind of helping coach down at Virginia Tech in the Southeast Regional Training Center. But, with the job and kids club and other stuff, taking up the days, sometimes it's hard to. But for the most part, keeping an ear out for things, but not as much as I probably would like to.
Did you go to the draft at Buffalo Wild Wings on Sunday?
Yeah, sure did. Absolutely.
I missed it the first time in probably a half a dozen years, and I'm kind of
Is that
depressed.
right?
Oh, yeah.
It's a good time, man.
Oh yeah, and I've actually not been overly successful. They usually Jeff kind of beats me up on some of his picks usually every year.
He's smart.
But yeah. So we'll talk about this in a bit. I want Bill to ask some questions to you because what I want to do is I know some transition. We listened to the John Smith story. I don't know if you had a chance to go on and there's a guy that does Wrestling Changed My Life podcasts, and he did a John Smith in basically a whole podcast about the John Smith story, and I think it'd be well worth your listen. And kind of the rivalry between the biggest part that I got of it is the rivalry between them and Iowa, because I grew up an Iowa fan, and I still am today, and it's kind of my downfall sometimes. As Bill and these guys were hacking me earlier today on some text.
Well, you'll see later. He's got 10 Iowa guys in the finals, so and 11 All-Americans.
Yeah.
So, no, I really what I'd like to hear about, because we don't hear enough about it, and I guess I do because I started following Virginia Tech when you kind of got there, pretty close. Tell me about your time in Blacksburg. I mean, and about the town itself. That's kind of a neat area.
Yeah, it definitely is a neat college town. It's kind of back in between the Blue Ridge Mountains and Appalachian, somewhere in there, and it's beautiful country. It really is. It's a lot more laid back than I think a lot of people might think the East Coast is, and that was one kind of skeptical part I had. And going out there to check it out was that it was the East Coast, and I wouldn't like it, but it was very, very laid back, cool town. A lot slower pace, but great people out there. I love the people I was surrounded with out there. I couldn't say better things about them. So
great coaching staff.
Absolutely. And there was kind of started with one, and it ended up transitioning into a new coaching staff, and really both coaching staffs were tremendous. But what they got right now currently with Coach Roby and Air Freyer and Ty Walls, Jared Hott, they are doing very good, very good. Cody Brewer as well. He's higher up there, but yeah, they're in good position.
Yeah, I would think so. So Freyr when did he get there? Like your senior year? Am I right about that?
Junior year, yeah.
Junior year. So he was,
Junior
but I suppose at that time, you cut down to about 125 pounds, but so he got a little bit bigger than you then, but he had to have been a workout partner somewhat in the room.
Absolutely, yeah.
That had to have been a lot of fun, huh?
Oh, lots of fun. He and Frank Molinaro was there for.
Oh, Frank was there too at the time.
Well.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds less fun.
Yeah, I got picked up in a few doubles, that's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
No, they were great partners.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about the thought process and kind of what went through your transformation going down to 149.
Sure. It was kind of a weird time of the year. First year I got down to Virginia Tech at 57, didn't make the lineup. Lost to a real tough kid, Sal Mastriani, who's from New Jersey in high school, but ended up All-American. I think he took 7th or 8th. I can't remember off the top of my head, but very tough kid, and so a little bummed out after that first year. But then I guess won a spot at 57 and the next year, and just wasn't finding the success in the weight class. I don't know what it was. I don't want to say it was the weight cut, but maybe paying too much attention. And about Christmas time, I don't know, there was an opportunity to go down to 49. It seemed like it would be helping out our team, and kind of talked with the coaches and said, well, give it a try. It wasn't really feeling like it was going right at 57, so made the cut and was all in right when I decided to do it, and didn't look back, I guess.
Yeah, it was awesome to see at the time, just because you knew it took a commitment. And I thought you performed great at 49. I mean, I guess you would probably feel you had better success at 49 than you had at 57. But coming out of North Dakota, of course, we thought you went anywhere from 49 to 65, you were going to do well. But it was fun to watch you wrestle at 49. The same kind of style, tough, and just anybody you wrestled was, I'm sure when they got done, they were tired. So that was it was fun to see you there.
I appreciate it.
I'm trying to remember. I remember watching one. I think it must have been a North Carolina duel that was really a battle. You guys.
Oh yeah.
That was, but it was just one of those hard fought, grinding, gritty matches, and
went
right to the end.
Match, I think. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's Troy Heilman. It was. I think.
That's who. Right. Yep. That's who it was. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Sure.
So, what was your toughest transition going from basically down South Central to the East Coast to the two different conferences?
Hardest transition from that. I guess just jumping into a new team, you get real comfortable with a lot of guys. You got, teammates, real good friends, kind of like brothers already, and comfortable with the town. Just moved into your first house and whatnot, and it was probably just a change of getting comfortable and then kind of realizing you want to go elsewhere and having to refamiliarize yourself with everything and I guess reestablish yourself with a team and make new friends. And not that it's hard to make friends in the wrestling culture, but I think it was just going from a familiar place to an unfamiliar place. But
you came into Oklahoma State with a lot of really good guys. That was a great class that came in there. Did you get pretty close with a lot of those guys, and are you still in contact with many of those guys today?
Yeah, absolutely. Got very close with the majority of all of them. I made really, really close friendship with a guy named Gary Wayne Harding. We still talk quite often, but there were several other guys. I mean, every time I'd see them, even after transferring, Dusty Hone and Tyler Mann. Dusty Hone was out of Utah, and Tyler Mann was out of Arkansas. But Chance and I were pretty good friends. Joe Smith, who was a year younger, we were great friends. Nick Piccinini, Tristan Moran, everyone on the team was great friends with each other, and good people that are still good to talk to afterwards, outside of the wrestling world too. But yeah, I'd probably stay in the most connection with Gary Wayne Hart. He's one of my very, very close friends. But,
Good. It was a good group that came in there and fun to watch a lot of those guys. Pitch was pretty fire. Hey, when you talk about that group, right, and where they were from all over. I mean, they all came from really different backgrounds, didn't they? I mean, different. I mean, from Piccinini to, coming from Utah and Arkansas and Oklahoma, of course, and Washington. So Chandler come in there about the same time, or was he like a year younger than you, maybe, or was it about the same year?
Chandler was same year, yeah.
Same year, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot about Chandler. He's a great guy too, as well. I think he's coaching out at Army or something like that.
He's at University of Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, he is down there. Okay.
Yep. He came and did a camp for us in Carrington.
Is that right?
A couple of years ago, I guess it would have been right after his
senior year.
Or right after he graduated. So
sure,
after his senior year. So that was fun.
Great dude. He's a great
Somebody asked if you ever went hunting with Cade Brock.
With Cade Brock. Not hunting, catfishing. Yeah.
Catfishing down there.
With Cade Brock, and used to do a lot of noodling, if you know what noodling is for catfish.
Did you really?
Oh yeah. My really good buddy Gary Wayne Harden, we'd go noodling all the time. It was a blast.
Wow.
I guess
How big a cast did you get doing that?
We estimated one. I'd never seen a catfish that big, but we caught one that my buddy had guesstimated to be about 65 pounds. But,
wow.
A lot of the 25, 30, 35, maybe up to 40-pound range.
Wow.
Yeah,
oh my.
It was a blast.
So explain noodling to me. What's noodling? I don't know.
So you go find basically holes underwater that catfish, I guess, root in or nest in, kind of basically, and stick your hand in there.
That's what noodling. So you're catching them by hand.
Yeah.
They stick their arm right all the way down his throat, pull them out.
Yeah. If it's a big hole, sometimes you gotta stick a foot down there and get them to bite on, and you can to get them.
That's fun.
That's pretty cool because I've caught some pretty good cats out of the Red River, but not noodling. Usually a frog, and you put it out there and can't see nothing. You catch a 20-pound cat, but that's not 40 to 60. Yeah. So you consider yourself an outdoor guy? I know that you do a lot of stuff out, with your cattle and all the other stuff out on the farm. What kind of hobbies do you have? Do you fishing, hunting? You do that type of stuff?
Yeah. Love hunting and fish. I don't get to fish as much as I kind of used to back in the day. I guess that's one thing I used to do is fish a fair bit and hunt. But I've gotten back into bow hunting here recently since I moved back to North Dakota finally, and been going out and bow hunting out west, doing some spot and stock, and family's got some land up on the river by Washburn, and do a little tree stand bow hunting up there too. But yeah, that's a big passion right now is bow hunting, and rifle too. But
oh yeah, that's Bill and I. I tell you what, I don't do as much hunting. I still do some fishing, but it's amazing all that stuff. All the wrestlers got to have a second hobby somewhere in there.
That's right. You have.
Well, now here's maybe who was your college team as you grew up? Did you have a college team that you followed when you grew up, or do you?
Yeah, not real young. I didn't really watch college wrestling until I was maybe in middle school, honestly, and really watching until about 9th grade. And I think I kind of fell in love with the David Taylor style and the Nittany Lion, kind of what they had going on. So that was probably team I gravitated towards cheering for and rooting for a while, and then I don't know, I maybe closer to junior senior year just started finding things about a lot of teams I really liked, and Penn State was probably the first one I really started.
Sure. If you could be a fly on a wall in some wrestling room just to listen, whose room would you like to go into?
I'd probably like to be a fly on the wall in Tom and Terry Brands' room. Just to hear some stories or something. Those guys are characters, and it'd be fun to listen to, honestly.
Sure.
They're pretty good guys and probably got some funny stuff that come out of their mouths and some probably pretty inspirational stuff, too. Yeah, probably them.
Yeah, I saw a thing on, I guess, I don't know if it was on Twitter or something, but if you had 5 coaches that you could get mic'd up for the weekend, which 5 would they be? And I think Tom and Terry would have to be 2 of the 5, but there's, I mean, there's, that's one thing been kind of interesting during this COVID year with a lot of these small crowds or no crowds, you can hear so much that's coming from the bench. It's pretty wild, but you've generally always been able to hear Terry, but yeah, I think, yeah, it'd be great. I don't think Kale says a lot in the corner, but it'd be kind of fun to hear whatever he says whenever he says it. But yeah, there's a number of them that would be a good time. I think I think Tony Roby would be fun to hear. I think Pat Popalizza would be fun to hear. I think Pop would be a good time. So it'd be fun.
Absolutely.
Well, every time I listen to the Steiners, for some reason, I still get gold. It's like great information every time.
Yeah.
But the wild stuff, I think Terry and Tom would probably be on the list, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, how about big names? Who have you been lucky enough to drill with? Is there anybody or wrestle or get to know as a coach pretty well?
As far as coaches in the NCAA right now?
Yep. Oh, it could be anywhere. Yep.
Oh, sure. Boy, yeah, several. I guess I got to drill with Anthony Collicott my first college visit, and then drilled with David Taylor on my next visit, and got into the OSU room and started drilling with Chris Perry, Tyler Caldwell, and Zach Esposito, and gosh, all sorts of guys. Got out to Virginia Tech and drilled with Roby, Frayer, Molinaro, Mike Zadek, Derek St. John, David McFadden, Ty Walls, Makai Lewis, Chance Marceller, JoJo Smith, all sorts of guys. Kyle Crutchmer, Alex Derringer. List has gotten big, but it's been a blast getting to roll with some guys. It's absolutely incredible.
We just had a comment on there about Ringer. I got to, well, this was something, I guess Chandler Rogers had mentioned that he thought he was probably the strongest guy he'd ever put his hands on.
Absolutely. Probably by far the strongest guys I've ever.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's
incredible.
Yeah, it'll be, hopefully he's healthy come World or Olympic team trials time. I know he's had some issues, and hopefully that's all behind him. It'd be fun to see him in that bracket too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's a great guy. Great guy.
I like now Mustang Bilby. If you tell us where you're from, we've got lots of comments coming. I love it. Okay, keep comments coming because once we get to the brackets, it might get crazy. Yeah, definitely. A couple more questions. Like, now this might be a tough one. How about regrets that you have in wrestling? I know that most people, when they go into a D1 program, the ultimate goal is to be a national champion, and you work like it. I'll guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this is heartfelt or not. Do you have any major regrets?
I remember thinking about that several times, kind of during college and after. And I remember telling myself one time, make sure there aren't any regrets when you are done with this thing. But honestly, looking back right now, I don't have any regrets other than not catching myself kind of coasting through a practice if there were times, and there definitely was a time or two throughout, but I don't know the exact word for it, but just kind of coasting out a practice almost, or maybe putting too much time on a practice on focusing on cutting weight instead of learning, probably.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one thing I regret most about not soaking everything in every minute I was in the room.
Yeah, the surroundings. Sometimes I've done that too. Now as I've gotten older, hindsight's 2020. There are many times I was in situations I wish I would have just absorbed it and really got the feel instead of just coasting through that great experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Not going through the motions. That's what it is.
Yeah. How about the first time you got to step in on the NCAA? What were your feelings getting there?
Man, the craziest atmosphere. I mean, just it's funny, just driving in or flying into the city a couple days early, and I mean, you're so wound tight already that it's by the time you get to to Thursday morning, I mean, you're just ready to erupt. You got so much energy built up, you know. It's in the crowd, it's the craziest feeling, you know, even being back in the locker room or back in the staging area or something where you're not even out there. And I mean, something happens first round and everybody back there can hear it. You know, you get hair standing on edge, you hear the crowd going crazy, and you're wondering if that's your teammate or that might be the guy you got next round or what the heck the deal is. But yeah, it's incredible. Nothing like it.
Yeah, I was thinking when I was going through my bracket today, I actually kind of thought about that. There's some of those matches that are kind of, you look at and you go, man, this match is really, this is a real match. There's something here. And you catch yourself thinking, this is someone that comes into every match wound up. And you wondered if going into that first round of NCAAs, if that's not something maybe could hurt someone, right? I mean, because there's some guys that come into every match calm, and you know that going into that first round, things are not calm. You know, I mean, I haven't obviously been anywhere near that situation, but it's got to just really be amped up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's over the top for sure when you're in St. Louis or Pittsburgh or Cleveland, wherever the heck that place is, that it's over the top for sure.
What kind of advice did you give it to Kyle Berwick?
Kind of advice would I give to Kyle going into the tournament?
Yep.
Stay relaxed and just have fun, you know. Don't you got 3 or 4 more of these to go, so just go rock out right now, you know.
Yeah, he's an underdog, so you got nothing to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole year leading up to this, you know, it's done and gone. So that don't matter anymore. It's just you got 3 days in front of you to do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm. How about some of the best advice you ever got on going into a wrestling tournament from a coach? Anything?
Probably, you know, kind of along those lines, really. You know, cut it loose. You know, the whole season, any loss you've had, any big win you've had, put it behind you. You know, don't let that drive how you're going to go out and wrestle. Let the next 3 days drive how you're going to wrestle and the excitement you've had all year to be here right now. Yeah, that's probably the biggest one, and knowing that they are in your corner for you, coaches wise. You know, we're here. We want to see you do good. Just go do it.
Mm-hmm. Leave any doubt behind about conditioning, all that stuff. You know, yeah, sometimes clear the brain, do all that stuff.
Yeah, Hayes in the barn.
So I want to go back just a little bit to those 2 magical tournaments in Fargo, right? And I was looking at the brackets. I know there's at least one wrestler in this tournament that you wrestled in one of those tournaments. That's actually almost hard to believe, isn't it? I mean, it's, you know, you go through all those years and then here they are, still someone hanging on, still wrestling in the NCAAs today. But you know, what are some memories that you have from those 2 tournaments? They were really a lot of fun for all of us that were there. But
yeah, a lot of fun, a lot of you know, probably my favorite thing about those is what the work or the I don't know, the time put in beforehand, you know, before getting there, all the training in the summer when all your buddies are out hanging out on the river with girls or something, you know, and you're doing something that you really are passionate about. That's probably the thing that I remember the most about that. But I don't know, being on a stage for the first time, I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That was a big deal, and watching guys when I was younger up on the stage and seeing guys like, holy crap, being a Fargo champ is the biggest thing I've ever heard about. And then you start getting older and they're in college winning national championships and becoming All-Americans, and all of a sudden you become Fargo champs. Like, holy crap, I can actually, that's probably about the time you believe you can really do things is getting into Fargo and beating some guys.
Yeah.
Yep. Tell us about your impressions of the Tanafus since you've been back in Bismarck.
Impressions of the Tanafus. Incredibly nice guys and very smart. And the fastest guys you've ever seen with lateral movement. They are pretty incredible, but just nice, outgoing kids. that want nothing more than to be very good at wrestling.
Yeah, they amaze me every time on just the progress that they get, and I've seen them in the room from when they first started. And what's funny is they're smaller now than when they first started, almost. If that makes any sense to them, but they're just put together. I wish them the best. I think their future is going to be pretty bright too in the sport coming up.
Yeah, absolutely will be.
Well, here's another question somebody's got for you, Ryan. Was the Gophers ever in the mix during the recruiting process? A lot of NODEC kids went there and quite some time and found success for quite some time.
Sure, yeah. Talked with Minnesota for quite a while in the recruiting process, and definitely we're in the mix. I don't know what it was, or can't even think back now what maybe led my heart to Oklahoma State over that, but I really enjoyed talking with Brandon Nagum and Coach Becker out there. Those were the main guys I talked to, and those are two very good guys and run a very good program there. But yeah, I'm not sure why that didn't end up being a place I went. Something about Oklahoma State drew me closer, brought my heart closer there. So no.
Yeah.
I could understand. I mean, it's talking to Coach Smith, it's got to be a pretty surreal experience. He's probably, especially in the recruiting process, pretty easy guy to get along with and trust and I know it gets tougher when you get in the room, but he's as wild as he is some of these other coaches we were talking. He's one that would still scare me, I think. But.
Yeah. No, he's a pretty good guy. He got me fired up going through the recruiting process. That's for sure. I was pretty motivated to go to Oklahoma State.
That was a big signing. I tell you what, because when I heard it, I'm going, wow, okay, now let's see what happens. We were rooting for you. In fact, I have a sweatshirt from there.
Do you really?
Oh yeah. And I'm an Iowa fan. I've wore it once, I think, or twice. I wore it during a couple duels or when you were there and things. I might have had to burn it, but I'll keep all my wrestling stuff. I don't know. Yep. Yeah. So now, how about this? Now, when we start doing our brackets, is there a team that sticks out besides Iowa and Penn State that's going to surprise some people this weekend? The top two, trying to avoid those two.
I think maybe Missouri. I think Missouri could put some points up.
Okay.
I think Missouri was one that kind of came to mind, and I thought they could have some guys that bring some points. They're a team that's pretty scrappy usually, and I just think that they probably peak at the right time too. I think that's kind of important. Looking at teams or who's going to come out and do it is kind of coaches who've kind of proven that they can get guys to peak at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Programs that got it down to peak. Outside of that, Virginia Tech, I definitely think those guys are there to do some very good and fun things. So that's kind of what I'm excited outside of the main ones. Yeah.
You ever a chance to wrestle Askren?
No, I never have. I wish. That was one I probably would love to go back and be able to roll with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was funky.
One thing about Missouri is I see, they probably have, if you look through the brackets, they probably have more matches as a whole than anybody all year. They seem to be going. I mean, not that it was a huge number of matches, but they seem to always be going. I just look here. I got Keegan O'Toole had 13 matches, and he didn't wrestle. The only thing they missed was that Cowboy Classic or whatever they called that Oklahoma State had. But what I heard there was they sent anybody who had not had COVID already. They sent to that. Oh. I mean, if you'd had COVID, they sent them. But if they hadn't had COVID, they didn't send them because it was like 10 days away from the MAC. So when you saw something like Brock Baller was there, but he'd had COVID already. So they sent him, and I think he ended up with like 17 matches or something, for the year. But
sure.
Yeah. That was one of those things you were wondering at the time. Well, they wrestled a lot of matches, but they didn't see they're in the MAC, and they did come up and wrestle up here at NDSU and stuff, but you always kind of wondered about the competition because they didn't see everybody, of course, and they had a chance, to see Oklahoma State and Oklahoma and Wyoming, and not everybody went. Well, then I found out later that was the situation. If a kid had COVID, then they went. If they hadn't, they stayed home. So they couldn't take the chance of getting tested positive and missing the MAC. But
how about who is the main rivalry for Virginia Tech?
NC State. Well, UVA and NC State.
Okay.
I think NC State. I think UVA as a program, on across all sports, but NC State and wrestling, it was just they're powerhouse in ACC, I think, and UNC is becoming that now too. But NC State probably. Yeah, we always had battles with them.
Did you happen to see that NC State Virginia Tech duel this year? Did you get to watch that?
I did get to watch a little bit. I shouldn't say I watched every match, but I got to watch a little bit.
Great duel. That's the duel of the year, I would guess. It was really a great duel.
Yeah, I'd put that one up there for sure. That was entertaining.
The other thing I was thinking about, what do you think of the ACC as a conference, right? I think they're the second best conference in the country now, right, as of right now. I think that's Big Ten and then them. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's 7 or 8 teams, I believe, something like that. And one of the years there was, gosh, what was it? Four of them in the top 8 or something like that. Virginia Tech, UNC, Pitt, and NC State, I believe, were in the top 8 or 10. So I mean, it's a tough conference for sure. And, there's some weight class that only take 2 or 3 guys to the NCAA tournament without bids. So you got scrap when you're going through conference. That's for sure.
Right. Super.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how about we talk some brackets? Get a little brackets going, and then we'll figure out some more questions along the way. Well, I'm going to share a screen, and we can, not that it'll be that big, but I can definitely, I've got the brackets hit in a thing on the side here. Doesn't take much for me to do that. And then we'll have a blast talking about some of these. Well, we'll start off right away with 125, and we'll cut out our faces a little bit. I tell you what, 125 to me seemed to be, of course, the easiest to pick the champion, but I mean, of all of them for me. But then when I started to do placing, it got very sketchy. and I, of course, Bill, you can guess who I picked.
Yeah, I could guess. Well, if you got this one wrong, then we'd have to start worrying about you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will tell you my 4 semifinalists. How about that?
Yep.
And then my champion, because whoever else gets into the finals really doesn't matter. But of course, I got Spencer Lee, and then I picked Teskey, the 5 seed, to make the semis, and then I picked. Let's see here. I picked another one, the 6 seed, to make the semifinals. That's Camacho. And then I picked, of course, Latanya, Virginia Tech. And I, of course, had the Virginia Tech guy making the finals, too. So Bill, what do you got for yours? I
have the exact same picks. I got Lee, Teskey, Camacho, and Latona. And I do have Lee winning it, but I think Latona is going to make that a very, very interesting match. When Jim and I and you were having a message there earlier, and the question was, does Lee ever make it? Go the whole 3 periods. I think Latona gives him a run. I really do. I think he's dangerous. I think he's fun to watch. That'll be. I think that's going to be and he's scrappy. I think that's going to be a very good. I think it'll be a really fun final. And I actually kind of watching Lee in his finals match at Big Tens. I'm not 100% sure he's 100% healthy. So I would not want to wrestle Latona if I wasn't 100%. And I think not even not being 100%, I think Lee still, wins the bracket. But
well, I tell you what, Mustang Bilby's getting some comments in there. D1 Phenom coming on tonight.
Yep.
First and only Fargo champion from Alabama.
Yep.
I would have not known that.
I did, but yeah, it was
good. And Ryan.
I got Spencer Lee and that Teskey in the top side. And then Sam Latona, but then Brandon Courtney from ASU.
You do? Okay. Yep.
Well, they say he's been looking like a machine, but just hasn't had the competition this year.
Yeah. I think during the season I would take Camacho over him, but I think at the NCAA tournament I'd take Courtney. He's a very athletic kid, super wrestler. I think if the ball's in his court when he gets to the NCAA tournament, he could sure make the semis.
Oh, awesome!
I'll just go back a couple of rounds there. I did pick Barnett over Courtney. And only because Barnett is so tough on top, and Courtney, if anything where he's going to struggle, it's going to be someone's going to turn him, and there's going to be an upset somewhere. So I picked that one.
That would be a big,
and it's my bracket.
Yeah, and I'm sticking to it. Yep. I had no major upsets in the first round on that one. Just thinking through, I did have McKee winning down the bottom. I thought that the guy from I looked up
from
Malik.
Certain, yeah, from Missouri. Yeah.
Yep. And I looked him up and I said, guess what? Or yeah, Certain. And a lot of people like him a ton, but I just that McKee surprises people. And he's dangerous. So I said that's probably my biggest upset, if any. There really wasn't any in that first round. Any upsets you see along the way, Ryan?
Not really in 25 here. I think this one's going to go pretty par for the course as far as seed wise. I think those guys are where they need to be to move to the next round.
The one match that I really struggled with was the Robbie Howard Malik Heinzelman match.
Mm-hmm.
I know Heinzelman has beaten Howard a couple times this year, but I think their styles are so similar. And I could see Howard figuring that out here towards the end of the year, but I struggled with that one a little bit, but I did pick Heinzelman.
Yeah. And I can't remember who else was doing this. Maybe it was somebody on Flow was talking about a little bit too. But I think most people, and maybe had Camacho winning the whole thing. Who the heck said that? That might have been our got to think of the Flow guys. One of the Flow guys might have had him right in the mix, but I didn't know anybody that way. Okay, well, I'm going to move the bracket up to 133. And Bill, as we're doing this, I know you had some later picks. Feel free. We'll talk about anything there. Okay, yep. 133. I didn't fill out the bracket. Should have filled out the bracket and had it for people to see that way, because this is kind of tough to see. But those people that can turn this on a big screen, it's a little bit different. That's pretty much the bracket right there. Now, on that one, I'm going to tell you my 4 semifinalists. I got Fix, I have DeSanto, I have Myers, and RBY. My 4 semifinalists with Fix and RBY, with Fix winning it.
Yeah, I've got Fix. I have Philippi over DeSanto. I do have Corbin Myers, and I've got RBY. I got so then I got Fix and RBY in the finals, with Fix winning. I think this bracket is going to be a tremendous amount of fun, and I actually would, I think there's going to be a lot of fun matches in there. I think that that RBY Myers match is going to be really fun. I think the Philippi DeSanto match will be real interesting, but I think the that match will be decided on the mat, and I think Philippi's just really tough on top, so I'm picking him over DeSanto.
Okay,
I'm right in there with you guys with Fix and DeSanto and the semis on the top, and Corbin Myers, Virginia Tech boy, and Roman Bravo in the semis on the bottom. I want to see Corbin Myers make the finals.
That would be awesome.
Fix, and Fix maybe winning, but I like where you're at, Bill, there with Mickey Philippi with DeSanto. I think if Philippi's on, he sure has the ability to take that match from him. And also down here, I'd sure think we'd all love, all of us North Dakota natives would love to see our boy Berwick in the second round against Roman Bravo Young and maybe pull an upset out there. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, I did pick Kyle to win his first match of Motor Sports. I think that's actually a pretty good way to get started for Kyle. I think, Kyle's style is going to lend, to, be really, really competitive there and probably win that match. But, and RBY will be it's always fun to get one against a guy like that. He's wrestled him before, and he did say that he's the toughest guy he's ever wrestled, but it's fun. You always want to wrestle the best guy at some point.
Yeah.
So,
and I kind of gave him a hard time in his interview. I did say that he scored 5 points against him. And then he said there were 5 escapes. Yeah. And so nothing against you, Kyle, out there by any means, but that's what I'd love to see. I did pick him also. I wanted to see him against RBY, definitely.
I will say, this comment on here, I did pick Fix to win that. I will be cheering for RBY. Don't get me wrong. I made a commitment. I learned a long time ago. This is one I do not pick against Dayton Fix. He's really, really good. Even when I'm wrong, I still think I should have been right. But
that was my only Okie State guy making the finals, I think. I think that in my whole pick. So I said that they got to have a champion there.
I think I have another one.
Okay. So let's move up to the next bracket so we don't take people's all night, even though I'd much like to. 141, which to me, honestly, I erased about 4 or 5 times doing this on who I was going to pick to win this thing. Because I tell you what, the top 3 or 4 should stay the same. But who's going to win it? To me, I think Ironman's probably the man that should win it, but he's not a scorer. He's a defensive machine who people just have a hard time scoring on. If anybody could score him, he could get upset in the semis. I definitely think that Wilson has a chance to bring it to him, and that match scares me on the matchup. But I do have Ironman winning this thing. I have Ironman, and then I had Rivera, who I erased a couple times of having Sebastian Rivera, winning this thing, and I erased it back and forth, and Nick Lee losing to Rivera in the semis.
So your 4 are Ironman, Wilson, Seabass, and Lee?
Yep.
Well, here's one where I did go with an upset here because I just think he's really talented. I don't know how his legs are, but I have Ironman. I got Real Woods in the semis on the other side against him.
Okay.
And then Seabass and Lee. I do have Ironman and Lee in the finals. I picked Lee to win it. I actually think if Seabass does get Lee this time, I think he could beat Ironman. But I think Ironman would beat Seabass. But right. I did pick Lee to win it, and those guys had a close match. Both of them. Lee had close matches with both of them. But I think Lee can win that match. So that's where I picked it.
If you go back to that match, though, you look, Lee had a couple opportunities to score and just couldn't on him, though. He had a chance. I watched that match twice, and I was going, "Oh my!" Because I was thinking Ironman was the man, but I started noticing he was not wrestling. He was playing so much defense and just scoring off of everything that way that that's why I erased so many times in this bracket him off of winning and not. And I'm going, if somebody is not going to win it, who should? He's my one of Iowa. I'd actually pull out of that spot.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
And Ryan.
So I got. I'm actually going with Rivera over Lee. I think that I think I saw that Lee winning the Big Ten match and Rivera being a gamer at the NCAA tournament. I just think he. I don't know. I think he knows how to wrestle that match in the NCAA semifinals. So I see him making the finals in the bottom side and actually winning it. I see Ironman making the semis, and then losing to Rivera in the finals. But I want to point out one match here in the quarters Friday morning that's going to be a barn burner. I think is Chad Red and
Ironman. Yep, I've got that one too circled.
I think he's got a
he's got to be on his game Friday morning. If he's not, he might not make it to Friday night on the front side. So
I totally agree because that red surprised me how good he looks. He's only got one loss on the season, and
Yeah, he's great, and he's got some good coaches behind him too that are. I'm sure they're going to have game plan going in.
I think that's going to end up in a pin. Someone's going to get cradled. It's going to be a pin.
Okay.
You called it, Bill.
Yeah.
I'm not saying which one's doing it, but I did pick Ironman to win it, but I think that match could end up in a pinfall somewhere. I love Chad Red. I actually think he'll be third or fourth if he doesn't win that if he doesn't win that match. But I'm a big Chad Red fan, so
I've circled him and I got him losing to Ironman, and I actually put a score on it, and I put it as a 5-4 riding time. That's a victory. So it'd be 4-4, and with riding time is all, and then I got him coming back all the way to fourth.
How much riding time? How specific did you get?
I didn't get quite. I just said enough to get a point. Yeah. So it could be 1 minute, 1 second. But I tell you what, that's probably another thing that Ironman's improved on is his top this year. I definitely see that, but he's not turning people like he does. Like he doesn't want to get himself out of position, but he definitely is holding people down, and stopping their first moves. And another one in there that some people were predicting. I also, who else did I see in there? Oh, that I tell you what, Dom, the number 5 seed, is a good wrestler.
Dom Demas.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a stud for OU. That is a tough one there, and I erased back and forth Wilson and him a couple different times. Mm-hmm. And so I put the double D by there, saying I could see myself losing that spot too.
that'll be a crazy Thursday night match. Is Real Woods and Dom Demas.
Yep.
That will be an entertaining one.
I think I think that's where I find out, right? If Woods has got it, because Demas is so dangerous at, coming up top, and if Woods just stays on leg attacks and stays in his game and can keep and has got his legs underneath him, at that point I think he wins that match, and if he wins that, I think he beats Wilson the same way.
Sure thing.
That is pretty.
And I like Tariq Wilson too. I think you got to see him wrestle a fair amount, I'm sure, Ryan, and he's really good, but
very tough guy. Absolutely.
See, somehow I missed Real Woods. I don't know enough about him. Tell me a little bit about him.
Well, he's a Stanford guy, and actually he was not going to wrestle this year. Stanford dropped the program, and he has been working his tail off to graduate so that he can transfer next year as a graduate transfer, because he wanted to get a Stanford degree. And he's really good. He only had one loss last year. Obviously never got to the NCAA tournament, had one loss last year to Ohio State kid. Drawing a blank, but the number 1 seed at the national tournament last year.
Oh yeah, very short guy.
Yes, yeah, and it was an overtime match early in the year. And he's Illinois kid, really good, fast, kind of Izzy style guy.
Okay.
And he really only wrestled in the Big 12 tournament. And he did lose in the finals to the guy that he wrestles in the first round of the NCAA tournament. But that's just the way it goes. You're going to lose some matches, but I think he can win all. I think he can win them. So,
well, awesome. I tell you what, that should be an interesting bracket. I am looking forward to 141. Like I said, I was more insecure with some of my picks in this one because I was erasing back and forth and back and forth. There's a ton of great wrestlers out here at 141.
Yep.
Did you have enough meat on your bone to ever make 41, Ryan? Back. Was it about 8th grade?
Maybe back then.
I couldn't believe you made 49, honestly. So we're going to look at 49 here. When you made 49, I said, oh, man, Ethiopian boy here coming. because you're so tall too, and and then I watched you wrestle, and there were other guys the same size as you out there. I was going, what in the world's happening here?
Yeah.
Because I remember cutting. I was a 52 pounder in high school, and I cut down to 50 back then in college, and then next year I wrestled 190. I kind of grew a little bit.
Yeah.
It was one of those. What happened to Gums? He's wrestling 90. Yeah, I think it was beeroids. Got me. Yep, they got me a little bit. Okay, so let's look at 149. I'll tell you who I have here. I put Sammy, of course, Sasso winning the whole thing. I got him. I pretty much went straight bracket, I think, here on this one. No, I didn't. Okay, then I got Boo, of course, and he's my other finalist. There, I do have a second Okie State guy getting there.
Oh, he's on. They're on the same side of the bracket.
Oh, nope. I'm sorry, not him. I'm talking Mahler.
Oh, Brock Mahler. Yep.
I had
Missouri guy.
Boo in the semis. That's what I had against Sasso. And then I had, of course, O'Connor, who is a machine, losing actually in the semis. So
you've got Sasso, Llewellyn, Mahler, AOC.
Yep.
Me too.
And so I went pretty straightforward there, but I did have our 3 seed making the finals over the.
So you got Mahler and Sasso in the finals with Sasso winning.
Yep.
Okay. I actually have Sasso, Llewellyn, Mahler, and AOC in the semis. But I got Llewellyn winning over Sasso, and I got Mahler over AOC with Boo Llewellyn winning in the finals.
Wow, a Boo champion.
I think he's healthy, and I think a healthy Boo Llewellyn in a season where he only had to wrestle 16, 17 matches. His only loss on the year was to Brock Mahler, but I think he avenges that in the finals.
Okay.
I really want Boo Llewellyn to win. I think he's good enough too, but I just see Sammy Sasso punching his ticket to the finals over him. And wrestling Austin O'Connor in the finals, but I think Sammy Sasso's going to win. I think he's just on fire.
Yeah. I watched 2 of his matches today. That's what made me secure.
He's really good, but I'll tell you my only concern is, so Sasso's got to wrestle Agasanya from Army, who's tough. He's got to wrestle Abbas, who's tough. And then he's got to wrestle Llewellyn. And Sasso wins a lot of 1-point matches or, to good guys. And I think sooner or later that's going to bite someone. And we know that not all the number 1 seeds are going to make the finals. And just because things happen. And I have a feeling that this is Boo's year.
Okay. I could see Abbas, if there's going to be an upset there, I could see Abbas, the 8, taking him out after Friday.
One match I do have a star on in the first round is Yaya Thomas versus Jaden Abbas in the first round. That's a 25 and an 8. And Yaya Thomas is really good. So that'll be that could be interesting.
Absolutely.
See, I don't know Yaya either. That's the whole thing. I miss some of these guys. You're going to have to fill me in.
There's also another match here I want to point out here.
Okay.
A former teammate Mitch Moore from OU wrestling Joshua Heil wrestled Josh Heil. He's younger brother of Dean Heil, Oklahoma State guy. He's pretty tough. I think that will be a fun first round to watch.
Yep. I picked Heil in that match.
There you go. I think Mitch is gonna pull it out, but that'll be a fun match. Fun match to watch for me, anyways.
Oh yeah. Excellent. There we go. Mustang. Definitely. Okay, let's go to the next weight class where we have a North Dakota boy coming in who actually, and I've watched 2 or 3 different shows, and they have him making the blood round is all. He did get the 8 seed. They have nobody had him All-American. Would Frantic, if he has a chance to get in there, that would be phenomenal. But I'll give you mine here. Okay. I have the one Then I have the 5.
So you have Deacon and Young in the semis.
Yep. And then I have, let's see, the 4 seed I got in and the 2 seed. So
The 3 seed, Carr
3. Yep. I'm sorry, Carr.
and
Yep.
Hidley.
And then I've got Carr and Young making the finals with Carr winning it.
You got Carr winning over Young?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. I've got Deacon. I've got Hunter Willits from Oregon State making the semis over Young there.
Okay.
I've got Carr and Hidley. And from here, I just hate this bracket because I have no idea what to do. I did end up picking Deacon and Hidley, and I picked Hidley to win, and I'm not comfortable with that. But I think this is the time that Hayden gets it done. He's wrestled some pretty dang good national tournaments. Deacon is humongous. I think that Hidley might be, the one guy that can be as strong as him. So I guess Ryan, have you wrestled anybody in this bracket?
Oh, let me look through it a little closer. I wrestled that Connor Brady, Virginia Tech, which isn't posing a huge threat maybe here on the very very right side of the bracket. But man, I don't think
I didn't know if anybody, Hidley's, a couple years younger than you, and he would have been like a 52 pounder, like at junior duels and stuff, I suppose. Billy wrestled him at 52 at the junior duels their senior year. But there's, and I think David Carr could win the whole thing. I think Deacon, Carr, or Hidley, any of them could win it. And I don't think Caleb Young can.
I don't think he could win it either, but I had him.
he
is
married
finals.
to Tom Brand. He is Tom Brand's son-in-law, so he's got to be tough.
Yeah.
That sounds perfect.
Well, does Franek have an opportunity to make the quarters? Can he beat the 9 seed? Can he beat Coleman?
Sure, he's had very close matches with him before.
Yep. Yeah, Coleman is. He's dangerous on his feet. He's got a really, really good blast double, and if you go to tie him up, he will hit a slide by on you. So he's tough. He's tough, and I did pick him to. I picked Franek to win that.
Sure. Yeah, I like to see Franek win that. I got him picked for Buffalo Wild Wings picks as well. So I'm really rooting for Jared to make it to Friday morning on the winter side. Sorry, Friday night. I mean.
So who do you have again? I missed yours there, Ryan, on that one real quick.
Overall, I think it's just going to be Deacon and Hidley in the finals. It's going to be a barn burner, David Carr and Hidley. And I really think there'll be a good match of David Carr and Brayton Lee in the quarters. But I think you're on John with Caleb Young and Deacon in the semis, and Deacon coming out. But I don't even want to call who's going to win.
I'll be honest with you. I had to ask my wife.
Flip a coin. There we go. Okay, let's head to 65. Now this one, I actually zipped through this bracket pretty quick, and let's get to the bracket here. 65, so people can see it a little bit. There we go. Okay, at 65, I got Marinelli, and then I have Lewis, and I have, and this one I actually have O'Toole making the 6 there, and Valencia. And then I've got Marinelli winning the whole thing over Valencia. And I put MV because Valencia could beat him just as well. But that's my Iowa again, which is why these guys hack me.
Well, I've got Griffith, Lewis, O'Toole, and Ethan Smith.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I really, and I'll be pulling for Valencia. Don't get me wrong, but and he's looked good this year, but he has not lived up to everybody's expectations in the NCAA, or even in just, if we just said folk style wrestling, since he's come out. And I think that Smith can slow him down and win that match, but I will be pulling for Valencia. And I'll tell you what happened is I just started writing O'Toole's name down, and I wrote it all the way to the finals and winning it. Freshman national champion. And actually, I would pick Lewis at the top if I knew that he was 80% healthy, but I don't know that he is. So I did pick him to beat Keating in the quarterfinals, but I got Griffith over Marinelli in the quarters up on top. So,
ouch. Okay.
Yep. I've watched him for, I don't know, every year at the national tournament, looking like he should make it to the finals and take 7th and 8th and 6th. And I have a hard time.
He's crashed and burned a few times. Yeah.
I think this is another one of those situations. I think he's going to have, Bullard in that, that second round match, which will be a really physical, tough match. And then he's going to get in the next one. And Griffith is, Griffith's coming out of Stanford, which, he's lost one match in 2 years, and ends up with a 8 seed, So
yeah,
it's kind of a tough. It almost reminds me of a couple of years ago, Ryan, when Marinelli gets a 1 seed in his first round match, he gets Joe Smith. It's like, holy man.
I think they purposely set it up sometimes that way. Going, this isn't a draw-in. Well, what could be the toughest matchup for him?
Yeah. Well, he's got second round. He's going to have a Bullard from NC State, and those Bullard twins are very tough guys to wrestle. They're very frustrating to wrestle. So he's going to start off with a handful. Not something I think he's going to lose to, but I think he's going to have to fight, because those guys are fighters, that's for sure. But I've got Marinelli, Lewis making it to the finals, and Lewis winning the whole thing here. I really think Mackay is great, and even if he does have a little injury, I think he can do it. Maybe, don't know how bad it is or what the deal is, but then on the bottom side here, I've actually got Kennedy Monday making the semifinals with Smith. I think Kennedy Monday is a bit of a sleeper in this bracket here where he's at. Just based off of performance and seeing him in the past, and I think he might have been a little hurt throughout the season or part of the season, and I think he'll get his stuff together and make it to the semis. And I'm thinking it's against Ethan Smith, with Ethan Smith in the finals against Lewis winning.
I don't hate that pick. Monday. If Monday's, I don't know. Like I said, I just kept writing O'Toole and I just kept going, but I like Kennedy Monday. I did think watching him at ACCs, I still think, and maybe it is he's injured. I thought he just doesn't look right. So I've got him beating Cam Amin for sure, and I think he's an All-American. But I did pick O'Toole. I did pick Jake Wenzel, to get there to the court, losing in the quarters to O'Toole. But and I like the Lewis pick too. I hope he's healthy. I think he's special.
Well, I see some people saying Sparks over Weber that first round.
I got that one. I got a star on that one because I think Sparks is really good. But I did pick Weber, and maybe that's because I'm a homer. I don't know. Yeah. But I like Weber. I think he's wrestling with, not that he ever has lacked confidence, but he is wrestling with a ton of confidence right now, coming off of Big 12s.
Yeah, because I had Weber beating Griffith, and you got Griffith all the way.
Yeah. Well, I think Griffith's pretty good.
Okay.
So you're a bigger homer than I am.
Yep, I'm a little bit bigger homer than you are. But I watched Weber run through the Big 12, and I thought that he looked good. And I like your comment on having confidence, because it does definitely look like he's got lots of confidence. And I wouldn't mind seeing one of those two, Frantic or him, All-American. But I look at the backside for Weber, and I'm going, oh my. that looks pretty tough. Both sides, to try to get in there. I like your picks though, Ryan. I tell you what, you on the bottom side, you got things messed up for some people trying to All-American. If I started to put back yours on the bottom here, and I see some guys not All-American because some guys, if he goes out, that way.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely. Okay, let's roll it up to 174. Here's 174. And this is my third Iowa guy to be national champion. I've got Kemmerer in there going against Nebraska, of course, the 4 seed, Labriola. And then I got the 3 and the 2. I guess I don't have a big change there, but I did have Romero facing Romero on the bottom side, on the quarters.
Who you had the Romero win in it?
Yep.
Over Romero?
Yep. That was a pretty easy pick to pick Romero over Romero. Either way, I'm winning. No.
Yep. So you got Strachey and Romero, and then who's winning the semi there?
I have our 3 seed winning.
Strachey.
Yep.
Yeah. And Kemmerer winning in the finals.
Correct.
I got Kemmerer. I do have Labriola winning, being there in the semis with I know tough one there. I kind of wanted to pick Massa, but I did pick Labriola, Strachey, and I got Peyton Mako from Missouri coming in from the 10 seed, making the semis. He is, Mako's really good. Another, guy that's going to go out and try to score a lot of points. Romero's going to keep it, a little closer, but he's not probably as if Romero wins that, Demetrius Romero wins that, it'll be. I mean, a lot of that's going to be because he is quite a bit. I mean, he's big, But I do have Strachey in the finals, and I did pick Kemmerer. I had Strachey half written, and I crossed it out and put Kemmerer. I think Strachey's going to win a couple national titles, but I think Kemmerer wins this one.
Yeah, spot on. I think Kemmerer's gonna beat Strachey in the finals. I think Caleb Romero is going to take out Demetrius Romero. Make the semis on the bottom side against Strachey, but Carter Strachey is very impressive. He's a very, very tough young kid, and I think he's going to have several national titles under his belt, but just not this year against Michael Kemmerer.
But he like you said, his style, they were talking about that in the tournament, on how he's almost a young, RBY.
A big RBY.
Yeah, a big RBY. And I was going, oh my. And he did. He looks good.
Yeah, he's got good footwork. And that's another guy that, wrestles with a lot of confidence, and he's good.
Okay. I don't see any major. I'm looking back and see if I had any major upsets along the way. I did see, let's see here. I did have one that I kind of circled down the way, and I have that Wyoming kid. Actually, no, not Wyoming. I had him actually having a close match. I kind of starred that with, with Carter there. And being a better watch out match there. Because I went back and I watched Hastings wrestle, and he's a dude too. He's pretty strong, but I don't think Strachey gets beat there.
One that I did put a little check mark on in the first round was Donnell Washington from Indiana and Jake LR from Minnesota. I think that could be a really fun match. Both guys are not afraid to go up top, and that'll be a pretty good battle. I think I do have Washington winning. I got Bullard beating him after that, but I do. And actually, that's one of those, you mentioned the Bullard, twins. That's another one that I even looked at that thinking, man, Kemmerer's going to have to wrestle that Bullard, and then he's got to wrestle Labriola, who he has tough matches with. That could be tough on him, but I did leave Kemmerer winning that. But
I'd like to point out a guy here real quick, everybody.
Sure.
Cody Howard, he's down to the 7th seed. He's a former teammate. Came out of high school at 220 pounds, down at 170
4 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Who's that?
His name's Cody Howard.
Oh,
Dakota
yeah,
Grappler.
right.
If you guys want to watch someone that's got a gas tank, watch him. If he doesn't get held down, he's gonna get guys tired. He's a fun guy to watch and a fun guy to watch in the room too. He's got no stop to him. And looking at who he's wrestling here, he could find himself in the quarters potentially against Carter Siraki.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, cool.
I will star that one. I'll
Yep.
put that one on there. Okay, 184 as we're flying through the brackets here. 184. I actually right away, I had a couple second guesses in my head on this one too, but I had a hard time putting the UN guy into the semis, so I actually put the Virginia Tech guy in the semis. I put Bolin in there against Brooks, and I erased that one a couple times. And then I've got actually here I have a 3 seed going against the 2 seed, and I have Hidley making the finals.
So I'm going to just take this is my one, and I could find others, but this is my one seeding complaint I have that is absolutely ridiculous is how
Okay.
did Hunter Bolin get the 5 seed?
Yeah.
Got one loss on the whole year to the 2 seed, and he'd also beat him. And he ends up going from, if he wins that match against Hidley, he's the 2 seed, and he goes from the 2, all the way to the 5 seed.
And that's why I had
irritated
Bolin in
me.
there.
Yeah, that irritated me. But I got Brooks and Bolin. I got Dupre and Hidley. And I've got Brooks over Bolin, which I think will be a really good match. I could get that. Ryan probably already picked that one the other way, but I think that's a winnable match for Bolin. And I got Hidley over Dupre and with Brooks winning it.
Boy, we're very similar there. Very.
Yep.
Yeah, I got Hunter Bolin going a long ways. I think he was come up short on his seed there, just like you were saying, Bill, being one loss to Trent Hidley and has beaten him
multiple times in his career, really. But I haven't got to watch Aaron Brooks wrestle enough this season, but I just think Hunter Bolin is the type of guy that's going to go out and beat a number 1 seed like Aaron Brooks and find his way into the finals, and he's going to make it happen in the finals against Trent Hidley. So
you could definitely be correct. I will say I have a little asterisk on the first round. I've got Ducharme from Bakersfield over Nelson Brands. I think that's going to be a really good match. But whoever wrestles Nelson Brands will be tired when they get done, and then they have to wrestle Hunter Bolin. So that's no fun. But I did pick a little upset there in the first round. But besides that, I was pretty close to chalk. I really struggled. I thought about picking Gear over Dupre, but I'd left Louis Dupre in there. But I think Dakota Gear's one that if he's healthy and he's had some success at this tournament, and I think he probably will All-American, but I almost put him in there over Dupre. But I think that it comes down to Brooks, Bolin, and Hidley. So I'm picking Brooks, but
I picked Dakota Gear to make it to the quarters.
Yeah.
And so, but I definitely saw that as I thought he had a pretty good location in the bracket where it's possible Gear could make the semis. It's very possible.
I wouldn't be surprised. No, I actually think I see that more so seeing Gear in the semis versus the Prez to go against Hidley.
Yep. I definitely that's the one. If I had to star one for a match, it'd be match 431 right there. Yep. Definitely. Okay, well, very good on that bracket. Let's go to the next one here. 197. Okay. At 197, and I got to put my sheets. I put the other thing. Okay, I have the 1. I have the 4. I'll go by seeds wise because I just put their seed as.
Yep. So you got a mean and Ferrari.
Yep. And then I had actually the 6 coming out against the 2.
Oh, Bonacorsi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm guessing Ryan's got to see him wrestle, a number of times. And then Eric Schultz from Nebraska. And then you have
Anime and Schultz.
Amin
Anime.
and Schultz in the finals with
Schultz losing, getting pinned. I got Miles winning.
I've got Amin and Ferrari. I've got Norfleet and Schultz. And then I have Ferrari over Amin. Schultz over Norfleet, which I struggled with. I have Schultz is another one, he can win a lot of those close matches. And Norfleet could cause him trouble there, but I did pick Ferrari and Schultz in the finals with Ferrari winning it.
Wow, Ferrari, that's your other Okie State boy.
I think I got three.
Yeah.
I'm a Okie State apologist. I forgot I had Blue Llewellyn in there until I opened up the bracket. But yeah, I knew I had two for sure, but I forgot about.
That'll put them in the hunt.
Oh yeah,
they'll be in the hunt then. That's why you had the Iowa winning by 13 on the thing, and I said 26. We're with Makowski today.
What do you got there, Ryan?
Well, I got Miles Amin winning it against. Sorry, I got Miles Amin winning it. I got him winning it against Norfleet. However, I think Norfleet's going to have a pretty tough time to get by Bonacorsi.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's a goer and a fun guy to watch. And Ferrari making it to the semis against Miles Amin. One match I want to throw in everybody's face here is Nick Reenan against Jacob Warner first round. I think Nick Reenan's going to find himself on top if he's not very injured. I don't know what his injury status is. I've seen him hurt in the past, but very talented kid that could sure find his way into the Friday morning match against Ferrari and potentially even pull out into the semis, but I still see Ferrari coming through.
Wow. I hope you're right. I'm a big Nick Reenan fan. We've seen him struggle so much, and I think most of it has been because of injury. And I'm not sure, size wise where he's at in 197, but I'm a big Nick Reenan fan. I hope he can pull that one off. And even though I didn't pick Amin to win it, I think that's a pretty good pick. He was 5th in the world, 5th on the planet, He's qualified for the Olympics, so he could. But you know what? I watched him have two really close matches. I think 1 point or overtime matches with Michael Beard and Cup. And Schultz, I think was a 1 point match. So I think Ferrari's going to go and try to score a lot of points. It's another one doesn't lack any confidence, but it'll be fun.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Actually, this is for 197 pounds. I think it's about as fun a bracket as I've ever seen at 197, or that I can remember in a while.
How good is Elam? Rocky from Ms.
I haven't watched Rocky much. His and I believe it's his brother in the heavyweight bracket.
Yeah,
okay.
I've seen him wrestle, but I would assume he's no slouch down there at 7th seed for Missouri.
Yeah. I think he was a Fargo champ. He was really good in high school. Really good coming out. He's I actually have him winning the first round and then losing to Caffey. But I think that says more what I think about Caffey than what I think about Rocky Elam.
Okay.
I do think Jake Woodley's a 26 seed from OU, and he is like good and jacked. I mean, he's like is huge. So that actually could be a pretty good match, but I did pick Elam over that, to win that.
Okay.
There's
I think if
9 seed up top too, Noah Adams, who's a good wrestler. That this 97-pound bracket is getting to be a fun one to look at and see what's going to be happening.
I actually think Adams could give trouble. And at one point I told myself, if Adams gets by Buchanan, I'm picking him. I'm going to pick him to beat Amin, but then I couldn't do it. But Noah Adams has lost 3 matches in 2 years, and all 3 of them are to Stephen Buchanan. And then they wrestle in the second round of the NCAA tournament. I don't. It's like he's 0 for Buchanan, but I did pick him to win it this time because I think he's due. But I think I do think Amin will come out on top of that one. But Noah Adams is really good.
Okay. Well, awesome. And then the easiest one to pick the champion, the next weight class. That one, I don't know anybody picking against him, but if you do, you just don't want to be in his backflip range. The guy, when you showed me his backflips that he was doing, I could not believe it. Big old heavyweight. He was doing round off backflips. You ever see that, Ryan?
I think I've seen video of him doing some backflips.
Gable is phenomenal. When I saw him, his head was just insanely high. Like I'm going, just and I'm not sure if I like him as cocky as he is right now. I don't mind being confident, but he's getting to the place of where he's like pulling out professional wrestling cockiness. Where he's stomping out the mat, and that's what he looked like in the Big Ten a little bit. Like he started to want to do the Kempe Mutombo, the old shake the finger. No, you're not, that type of thing. But I don't see anybody touching him. I really do not. I think he walks his way maybe all the way to the Olympics after this. I do have him facing. I actually have
Cassiope.
5 in there against him in the semis, and then I've got Stencil and Paris on the other side, with Paris going in again in the finals on him, because Paris, I watched several of his matches here. He's tough as nails, but for some reason Gable just manhandles him. So I just have Gable winning it again.
Yeah, I've got Gable, Cassiope, Stencil, Paris, Gable and Paris in the finals, with Gable winning. I actually was close to picking Stencil over Paris. I think he.
Okay.
I didn't, but I was close. I think he's pinned Paris about 3 times, but that's maybe a different Paris than we're seeing this year. But this is it's probably I think Paris will go out and he'll try hard, but Gable is really, really good.
Yeah, 2019 Paris, I think Stencil beats him. 2020 last year, I didn't think he was going to touch him because Paris turned the corner last year.
Yep.
And I thought I'd see a better Big Ten match out of him. I really did. I was looking forward to that match, and then of course Gable kind of just took it to him.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with Mason Paris here in this last year. Getting to see him compete a lot here. He's really turned into a very powerful heavyweight and a very athletic heavyweight. But I don't think anybody wants to get in front of Gable Stevenson right now. That guy is just a hammer, different beast, different breed, however you want to say it. That guy's got something going that nobody can stop.
He's got that hard double that he hits on heavyweights and runs them, and I'm going, oh man, that's a dream.
Well, the Paris to me has always been a bad matchup because Paris really is a great leg attacker, and Gable is so fast and has such a great go behind that it just you could shoot yourself out of a match pretty quick, and then he can also just take you down whenever he wants. It seems like so. That's I wanted to ask you, Ryan. I kind of struggled. Kind of a tough one in the first round there with Carter Isley and Hunter Katka. I did pick Isley, but I had both names written down, and when they're going to wrestle Paris next, it probably didn't matter. But tell me about Katka. I kind of think he's probably right in that match.
I do too. I got Katka winning that match. So Mason. Hunter Katka is a big athletic dude. Extremely strong for a freshman. the future for that kid is going to be bright at Virginia Tech. Absolutely will. He's kind of a phenom coming out of high school a little bit. Wrestled some very good guys and did well. I think just some extra time in that college room is really gonna set his sophomore, junior, senior year up for some serious success at that heavyweight.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I just what I had seen of him, I thought he was pretty solid. So it was. Go back up. We got obviously got another North Dakota boy in this one.
Yep, Brandon Metz.
Yeah, Metz, and he's got Zach Elam, and Elam's huge. I did pick Elam over Metz. I obviously will be pulling for Metz. They did wrestle earlier in the year one time. Metz decided to try a lateral drop and landed on his back, and
wasn't the match close, or was that right away?
Yeah, it was like 0-0, and it just was. It was not the right move at the right time, but that's Metz. He's going to go for it. There's no fear of ever locking up and trying to throw somebody, but it really wasn't. In that case, it wasn't set up very well, and Elam is athletic and heavy and big, and I did pick. I'm hoping. Brandon kind of had. I mean, obviously, he had a pretty good Big 12 tournament. Beat some guys he lost to before, and maybe he can do it again there. A couple other guys in this bracket, I'm going to be interested to see where they come out. Gannon Gremmel from ISU, I like a lot. He could, make a run on the backside. Kirk Viet, I've got losing to Gable, of course. I do have him beating Wood. And then, I think he's maybe the fifth best guy in the bracket. So
sure,
it'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't see anything major change here. I was wondering how good that Gremmel is. I didn't catch Iowa State this year, and then the other one I wanted to know a little bit more about was Wilson, of course, from NC State. Those are the two because Gremmel I think has a shot, maybe against Schultz. I thought, but I didn't know enough about him, so I was going to do some research and ran out of time today. On that.
I actually struggled with that Cassiope Schultz pick too. I did pick Cassiope, but Schultz is, I guess it all depends on it depends on how Schultz controls that match. If he goes in there and hand fights and keeps it close, and it's a 1 point type match, I think Schultz wins it, but if Cassiope can make it a score fest, because Cassiope does like to score points, Schultz is a world-class Greco guy.
Okay. Now give me your top five. Now this is for an adult beverage bill or for a burger or something. Let's go top five teams. Write yours down, and I'm going to write them down so you don't change, and I'll show you mine in the order of the top five, and then we're going to score it probably 10 points, 8, 7, 8, 6, 4, 2, and 1 for if you get them in the right spots.
My only problem with me is I wish I would have done some scoring here because I could write it down and then be different from what my picks were, but I'm going to do it this way.
Okay. Should have told you earlier.
Oh, no, I just never would have got to it anyway.
Oh, yeah. Got to do some sales sometime.
Yeah, I had to work most of the day. I think this actually probably comes out pretty close to how my picks went. I bet we have the same 5 teams. Ryan and I, because we pay attention.
Probably not the same order. But,
yeah. Oh yeah. No, it might be different orders.
Well, if you can see mine here.
Iowa, Penn State, Oklahoma State, Missouri, Virginia Tech. Yep. It's gonna be awful hard to bet on that.
Because we have the same. Well,
and Ryan's got the same teams, and he's got Virginia Tech. Oh, you do have Michigan in there?
Oh, we squeezed Michigan. So, I had Michigan 6.
So you had Iowa, Ryan?
Yep. Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan.
Well,
you got Ohio State in there?
Yeah, I do.
Ohio
and
State,
Michigan,
Michigan.
And then the bottom one is Tech.
Missouri, actually.
Oh, you got Missouri. You don't have Virginia Tech in the top 5?
No, I don't.
You got like 4 champs.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
They hard enough on that team one, I guess.
Yeah, they get 4 or 5 champs. They're going to be in second place.
I don't remember how many. You had a couple though. You had Latona in there. Oh, he didn't. You didn't have him winning, but you had him in the finals.
Yeah, Corbin too.
You got Myers going a long ways.
Yeah, I need to change that up.
Who else? You had somebody else. Oh, you got. Who else did you have in there? Oh, you have. You got Bolin
and Lewis.
Yeah. Well, I like the picks.
That's 80 points. That puts you in 4th. Right there.
I wasn't doing math, apparently.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good deal. I tell you what, I'm excited. I've got DVR'd everything, and that they did figure out where everything is going to be at. You know what stations? ESPN3 and all the other. You guys, if you're out there watching, I know we'll get a lot of people on the next couple days. It's on ESPN, ESPN3. It's all these different places. Bill, do you have a link somewhere where you can show that even?
Well,
share screen. Did you see that?
Yeah,
somewhere?
I do. I'm having a little. Let me see if I can find it here. Or I shouldn't say that I do. I think I do. What do I have? Well, I'm guessing it's probably all in the guide, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
The Jason Bryant's Matt Talk Online NCAA guide. It's you can maybe we'll share a link down in the comments here. Use the coupon code promo code Dakota for $5 off. And I am looking here. I think.
And I went through the guide. I got through quite a bit of it, and it is phenomenal. Again, 200 pages of information. Guys, go and we've linked it on Facebook. It's on the wrestling, basically my message board, the wrestlingmessageboard.com. Dakota Grappler will probably put another link out on the front page for it again. But definitely put a link in this video if they want to get that. Definitely has all of the guys that you want to look up you name it. All the stats. I'm just impressed on how much a guy can do in a short amount of time. He's made quite the book.
I do not have it right here. I do not. I got the guide here, but I don't have the TV station. But it's either on ESPNU or ESPN every session. So
somebody put it on Twitter. I think I saw.
Yeah.
Somebody had the schedule.
Yep.
And so if I take a peek, I probably could even mention who it is.
Obviously, it starts tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Goes from you got several rounds tomorrow, and then 10 a.m. on Friday morning. You got quarterfinals, semifinals 7 o'clock Friday night. That's a great round. Finals
can't beat that exactly.
So,
and I keep going, and I don't. It's going to go forever. I get too many tweets in a day.
Yeah, right.
I don't tweet enough. I do watch it a lot just to catch what a few people are saying. But Ryan, I tell you what, I want to go through I know we're at hopefully you got a little bit of time. I want to ask you our final quick questions. They'll pop up. It's our rapid fire questions. And then we'll probably call it a night, of course. And we've gone longer than we thought we would usually. Go about an hour. What would it be like to be coached by you?
What is it like to be coached by you? I hope fun, and full of learning. But I'd hope fun, especially depending on what age. But yeah.
Okay, because I know that the Matt Pack kids love you. A ton of them. Who's your favorite wrestler? They said the Blees brothers. Yeah. I broadcasted this last Monday. Matt Pack's doing a great job with everything. Okay, a few more of the rapid fire questions. First one, Gatorade or Powerade?
Powerade.
What color? What flavor?
Purple.
Purple Powerade. There we go. Okay.
Purple, yeah.
Yeah. Popsicles or dilly bars?
Ooh, dilly bars.
Any particular flavor?
Chocolate.
Straight chocolate. Yeah. There we go. Are you a mama's boy or a rebel?
Maybe a little bit of a mama's boy. Maybe a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Fast-paced or consistently slow?
Ooh, a mix. Maybe a mix. I'd say fast pace. So
Okay. Yourself, physical or mental athlete?
mental.
Okay, because I think that's the most important side of wrestling. As much as you think it is, you can work to death, but if you don't have it mentally, you're not going to make it. No,
Absolutely.
not at the next level. Favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving now after wrestling season.
There we go. Ooh, probably know this one. Dan Gable or Cale Sanderson?
Cale Sanderson.
Yep, kind of answered that earlier. We're old school. Most of the guys have been Dan Gable. Yep.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Gable's
It's they're not. Neither one are bad.
No. It's an era thing too, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Definitely. And we had. What's funny is had Randy Lewis on here, and Randy Lewis was wondering, well, which one should I pick? Yeah. He was a good. Go back and watch. He was good. Randy Lewis is phenomenal. In fact, I'm gonna text him and get him on again here. One of his new shows after the Nationals.
There you go.
Favorite number?
Let's go 26.
Okay, 26. That's a new one. Where does that stem from?
It was a football number back in grade school.
Okay. Tough one for you. Best wrestler you ever wrestled? Probably, let's go high school level and then college.
High school level. At the time or what they ended up.
It could be anywhere, anything.
Oh boy, high school level. I probably Mark Hall when I was in high school was probably one of the ones.
Okay.
Did you wrestle Mark at the Christmas tournament or something?
Yeah, I wrestled at Christmas tournament and then FILA cadets and freestyle.
Okay.
But I'd say Mark Hall for high school, and then college. Wrestled Jason Nolf, and got punished pretty bad one year.
Was that at the scuffle or something?
No, it was Penn State, Oklahoma State.
Oh, it was in the duel.
At NWCA, or not NWCA, the whatever they called that at the end of the year here, championship duel.
Yep, right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Any habit that you learned in wrestling that you still do today?
Getting a hard sweat in every day.
Oh, that would be a good one. I wish I still got that one.
Yeah. Sometimes sweat too much when I'm at the gym for being in public, but it's all right.
No, it's something about sweating. Wrestlers like to sweat.
Yeah.
Okay. Any last questions for him, Bill?
No, I don't. Where are you going to watch the tournament?
From a computer desk at work, getting about zero work done.
Yeah, I can believe that. That's it's going to be a great weekend. We were happy to have you on. It was good to see you Monday night. It was fun you guys do a great job. That's a great event. Great for the kids. A lot of fun. I'm glad we brought the pit crew kids there, and
we appreciate you guys.
Hopefully they learned something.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's the future of the sport. Yep, definitely.
Sure.
Okay, well, guys, I appreciate everything, Ryan. You should have a great year. I'll see you on the wrestling mat with some of the mat pack stuff coming up, freestyle, folk style. We'll have to talk. One of the coaches got a hold of me, and they want someone to come down and teach them some Greco and freestyle with the USA Wrestling later this spring. So we'll visit with the Coaches Associations or the USA stuff later on. I'll come in and visit with you guys. But other than that, guys, if you guys ever need anything wrestling-wise, get a hold of Bill and I through Dakota Grappler. We'll help out any way we can. We're here to promote the sport and anything. Like I said, I appreciate everybody. It was good talking to new people, and I'm hoping I win the brackets here, Bill. Yeah. And other than that, I tell you what, guys, you guys have a great weekend. It's Christmas time, NCAA Division I. You guys have a great night.